What up guys, this is Monkey Figure Reviews and today we are back for another figures news update. I reckon most of us will be very excited for this one. It is the Ichiban Kuji Wano Country Arc Act 2 series. So if this sounds familiar to you, most likely because it is, and it is a continuation slash sequel to the previous Act 1 Ichiban Kuji, which featured a set of 5 masterized figures including Luffy, Zoro, Law, Nami, and Okiku. So I think this one was released last year in November or December. So this time round for Act 2 Ichiban Kuji, unfortunately they are not following the masterized scale. So if you're thinking of displaying or scaling the figures between Act 1 and Act 2, it would not be possible. They are a lot shorter. I'll show you guys the heights later, but I think we have to find other series, more upscale series to scale them with. If not, you just got each other for company. There's 5 of them. And talking about the acts, I just want to say that if the trend follows, because we know that Wano itself has 5 acts, and that is based on the traditional kabuki play. So if the trend follows, very likely we are at least getting 3 more Ichiban Kujis for Wano based on the last 3 acts. So you can look at it in a positive or negative way. So if you look at it positively, I would say that at the very least we're getting 3 more Wano Kujis. That's a good thing because it will give new characters or even older characters that haven't gotten a spotlight some opportunities to be made into figures. If you look at it negatively, then maybe we really hope that Ichiban Kuji or Bandai Spirits, they do not restrict themselves to just this 5. We have already seen them came up with the Kaido Ichiban Kuji, so you can see that they can still do it outside of this. So there's a lot of interesting characters if you're following the manga that has came out. I think plenty of potential amazing figures they could be doing for Wano. Alright, talking about newer characters, if you are just an anime watcher and you want to avoid spoilers, I think it is time for you to close the video if that is important to you, because I think even this picture itself is quite spoilerish. I think the anime hasn't really caught up yet. So yeah, so it's better for you to skip this. But of course, if you want to pre-order the figures, you want to know more about the figures, there is a price to pay. Alright, let's get started. Enough of that long intro. So you can see that this Ichiban Kuji, there's 5 prizes, A, B, C, D, E. For prize A, we are getting Ace and Otama. For prize B, we are getting Luffy and his Samurai Armour outfit. For prize C, we're getting Zoro. It looks like he's holding his new sword, Enma. And for prize D, very excited for this guy. One of my favorite characters, especially after his flashback, KOZUKI Oden. And for prize E, we have his daughter, Kozuki Hyori. I think this is not a spoiler. I think this is caught up in the anime. And let's start with prize A. So you can see the height. It says here is 13 cm. So I think that it's just from the bottom to the top of Ace. And the standing height, I guess, when they're standing straight, is supposed to be 18 cm. And it's kind of hard to scale this height, 18, 20 cm, etc. I kind of think, for now, that maybe it will match well with the Creator X Creator series and maybe also DXF. But I can't be too sure. We have to wait to see. And for this prize A, I just want to mention that the first thing that really caught my attention is just Otama. She is just so cute. And what do you call this? Like a wholesome figure. And I mean, just look at her, man. Like, she's just so happy, genuinely happy. Spending the time with Ace. Of course, this is based on the flashback of the scene that they had together. And I think Ace just passed by Wano or something, and he's kind of making a straw hat for Otama. So she looks great. She just looks so cute, and I think a lot of people will just really like this because you have Ace, you have Otama, And for Ace himself, I kind of think that facial likeness not the best from this angle, and details wise, it's also pretty ordinary throughout the whole price A for both figures. So you know, just kind of like a basic clean sculpt they are going for over here, and not much shading, but maybe some on this straw hat that he's kind of weaving, and maybe some on Ace's hat as well. Let's take a look at other angles. Alright, this is the same. So yeah, this is a side angle. You can see more the shading, like towards the top and towards the edge. And maybe, yeah, I think maybe Ace's face looks better here. He looks much better than from the front. Could be the eyebrows, you know, that throws off the shape a little bit. Here you can see his tattoos and also some of his accessories better. And Otama as well, this hairpin with a flower on it, and some of the details on her kimono. She just looks so innocent and cute. This is the back view, and you can see that there's no Whitebeard Jolly Roger. So I think this was before he joined the crew. But of course, a bad thing is the seam lines on the arms, around the muscles. It looks to be very, very obvious. Very bad, considering this is a prototype. There's a kind of like a significant gap here too. And my suggestion is just to lower your expectations. Just expect this is what you are going to get. Don't expect them to fix this, and you won't be disappointed. Okay, but yeah, it looks to be quite bad. But if the bad part is on the back, then maybe from the front, most people wouldn't mind. The rock kind of base that they are sitting on looks pretty ordinary as well. They are not really going for the realistic look with the paints, with the sculpt. Alright, this is another view. So yeah, I think the rock itself is kind of just normal looking. Kind of looks fake, but it fits, you know, in terms of the quality of the sculpts, it's pretty similar level. And of Otama, look at her. Super cute. And let's go on to the next prize, shall we? Prize B. And we have our captain wearing his Samurai Armour outfit. I think he wore this after the Oden flashback, if I'm not wrong, just for a little while. And certain parts of his kimono, I think over here, is actually the emblem or symbol of the Kozuki clan. Yeah, I think that you can see like the bird thingy. And his height is 15 cm. If he's standing straight, it's supposed to be 19 cm. So I think 15 cm is to around here. I would think so. And obviously, I would just say that the main thing about this is the outfit. It is just so exquisite with the details and the colors. I think even by itself, it looks much more unique and amazing. For the face, I think it looks alright. Maybe a little bit stretched, a little bit wide, but that could be due to the eyes distance or it's being a little bit too small. The mouth, I will be worried because based on past experiences, they are usually very bad at making doing the painting for the mouth like this. So hopefully they don't screw up there. The hair looks great based on this prototype. And yeah, I think he's having like 3 swords as well. And the details on the outfit looks to be really, really cool. So you can see not much shading, but all these straps, all this like what do you call this, man? Like the individual pieces of the armor pieced together. You can actually see those details. The ribbon tie, and at the back you can see his helmet, kind of below his straw hat. Can't really see more details on this, but this looks impressive. The sheaths of the 3 swords, certain details on the back, like his footwear, looks to be very cool. But I think mainly it's just the outfit, so you can't really, you know, in terms of details, they're not going crazy as well with the shading. In fact, I don't see any shading at all. and it's just pretty much the colors on it that give it its uniqueness and attractiveness. I think I will really complain about this figure because it looks like it's gonna take out a lot of space from side to side, especially with the swords just pointing to the left and right like this. I mean, come on, man. I don't have any more space. Goodness me. And next we have Zoro. So his height is 20 cm. No problem for him. He's just standing up straight. And you can see that he is actually holding his new sword over here, Enma. So I think this is kind of the scene where he's just trying to get a grip on the new sword, trying to gain control over it while he's next to the cliff of the forest. I can't remember. So that's why he kind of have his upper half of his kimono let down, and the face looks to be alright from what I can tell, but the muscles, man, they really just went all out on this one. Like, just compare this to the body of Ace. Like, Ace muscles are hardly defined, but this Zoro, look at this, man. The muscles they've given him, extremely ripped, extremely muscular and crazy. The scar on his body, the sword, and even on his arms. You can see some seam lines here as well, but maybe it looks better than Ace's. Certain creases on the kimono, and this is the other side. Just look at the back, man. Okay, just look at the back. So here you can see the sheaths of the swords. He is without Shusui now at this point. That is returned to Wano, and the back muscles, man, same story as the front. They are really just trying to show how buff Zoro got. I'm not complaining. It's always good to get a really ripped, badass looking Zoro. You can see certain creases at the back as well. I think I can leave the details for you guys to see. So maybe the back here, the seam line is a little bit more obvious. Yeah, which is kind of unfortunate, but I guess unavoidable. Alright, prize D. My man, Kozuki Oden. His height is 16 cm. I presume that is to the top of his head, the top of his hair rather. And his standing up height will be 20 cm. So you can see over here that they're not really scaling to the actual character's height, because we know that Oden is a big dude, man. He is, I think, maybe twice or 2.5 times the height of Zoro, for example. So, but here they're just gonna kind of generic height of 20 cm for all of them, and he looks absolutely amazing. I think for style wise, he is kind of on his own as well. They are going for a little bit more realistic look over here, and you can see that through the the texturing, the shapes of his muscles. He looks extremely buffed. His arms looks huge. His body, his legs, man, look at his thighs. Wow. Oden, definitely one of the characters who does not skip leg day. Alright, and the face looks great. Looks pretty much like Oden. And you can see he's holding his two swords. And I think this pose is very similar to the volume, one of the volume cover of the manga. I think basically the flashback volume. And let's take a look at other angles. He looks like he has a proper physique, one of the more accurate ones in One Piece in terms of body proportions, with the sufficient leg muscles to boot, and body itself, it looks pretty broad. And this is, I think, the Kozuki Moon thing. The creases on his kimono looks to be well done. Little bit of shading at the bottom, I think, and some leg hair you can see. This is the Chat Oden. And at the back you can see the details they tried to add to the hair with the individual strands pretty much pronounced, the curls, and just kind of like a little messiness to it. And also on this huge rope thingy tied to the kimono, the texturing they added, and also towards the end of it as well. So yeah, generally I think the details are more pronounced on this figure. The style is a little bit different, and even on the back there are more creases. So you can see some on the leg muscles over here, and even some details on that wooden sandals he's wearing. And so you can see, you know, even just across an Ichiban Kuji, there's different style. You have Aces, Ace and Otama, those are more clean and simple. And you have Oden, which is on the opposite spectrum. So even for here, like the creases are just, they're going all out, man. Some of the muscles on his arms as well. Alright, lastly we have Hyori. So her height is 19 cm. So maybe she'll look good next to her father, or maybe as a couple next to Zoro. And of course this is her dressed down outfit, not in her Ori-ran style. And the face looks to be pretty alright. I kind of think that her eyes will be a little bit more droopy towards the sides, but I think it is okay. And the outfit itself, I guess this time around they are reverting back to the simpler style. So not a lot of like exaggerated creases. I don't think that's shading except for this ribbon here. Some parts looks to be darker. And most of the design of the kimono is just around the bottom where the flowers are. So that's the part that looks much more interesting. Alright, and the back, you can see more of the hair, as well as some of the hair accessories on it. Yeah, I think here you can see a little bit of color variation. I think here is a little bit more green, and also here. So at least it's not as boring as a flat color throughout. And this is the other side. The pose kind of reminds me of Nico Robin Playback Memories POP. It's kind of like tiptoeing, or I don't know, man, like jumping or something. So it's kind of interesting. You'll probably need a good support stand. Alright, and yeah, I think you can just see for yourself Hyori. And that's pretty much all I have for this Ichiban Kuji series. And I just want to say that I really hope, because we know that the figures are of a smaller scale, about 20 cm height. I really hope that they do not give the figures the weird squarish bases or whatnot, man. I mean, if they really need to have a support, just give them a supporting stand or base attached to one of the legs. Don't give them like those square bases, man. It's just horrible to me. And first of all, it's really ugly in my opinion, and it takes up space. So really hope that doesn't happen, because based on what we know, usually when the Ichiban Kuji figures, they are of a smaller size, they are of a smaller scales, those bases will definitely come with them. And let's pray that, oh my gosh, like Bandai Spirits just wake up their idea. Alright, other than that, I think for this series, I'm actually very excited for almost all of them. But if you were to ask me to kind of rank it in terms of priority, I would say Oden is number 1, followed by Zoro, followed by Luffy, followed by Hyori, and followed by Ace and Otama. If you want me to rank them in terms of who I really want to get first. Let me know what you guys think on this Ichiban Kuji. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments section below. If you like my video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also hit the bell notification button. I'm trying to hit 5k subscribers very soon, so any support I can get, it's very well appreciated. If you want to share this with your friends, post it to some, I don't know, man, like One Piece fan groups. I really appreciate your support, man. Alright, thank you guys. Thank you for listening in. I will see you guys very soon. Goodbye.